Hi everyone, this is Bree Luna with Reading Rev, and today we're going to talk all about parent-teacher conferences. I have a ton to share about this topic. Not only have I been a teacher for 20 years, but I also have 3 kids of my own who could not have been more different at school. I had one student who was plenty academic, but struggled with attention and always following through turning in his homework. My daughter was diagnosed with dyslexia, but not until 12th grade. And my youngest son breezed through the academics of school fairly effortlessly. So through my journey of teaching 5th grade, 2nd grade, intervention, private tutoring, and owning my own business, which we do professional development, I've sat on both sides of the parent-teacher conference table plenty of times. I've seen the good, seen the bad, and I've seen the ugly. So today we're going to dive into tips and tricks that will help you have the most successful parent-teacher conferences. My first tip is share strengths first. Every child excels at something. Document and begin with social and academic celebrations. You want your parents to know that you love and understand their child almost as much as they do. When planning your talking points, make sure that at least 50% of what you say during the conference is positive. You don't want parents to walk away feeling beat up and completely defeated because all they heard the entire conference was what their child is struggling with. With that being said, tip number 2 is be honest. This is a time to share data and to communicate about concerns and opportunities for growth. We don't want to spend the whole time being a ray of sunshine when we really know that the student has concerns that we should be addressing with parents. So keep it professional, keep emotion out, but really let parents know what is truly happening with their student in your classroom. That leads us to tip number 3. Make sure that the data that you share can be easily interpreted or easily understood by parents. Sometimes our data sheets can feel like a foreign language. Multiple times I've had friends that bring me reports that have been printed off at their school parent conference or in Friday folders, and my friends say, "Can you even help me determine what's happening? I see lots of red. I'm not sure what any of these words even mean or what I can do to help at home." My favorite thing to do is to create a one-page student profile that shares successes, simplified data in layman terms, and a checklist of what parents can really do. A great test of this is when you have data sheets, bring it home to your spouse or ask a friend who's not a teacher to interpret it and ask them if they understand what the data is trying to say. If their answer is no, it's your job as a teacher to simplify it and to make it easily understood for parents and people outside of the realm of education. The next tip is to share 1 or 2 manageable, realistic things that the parents can do at home to support their child. Most parents are not trained in the science of reading or conceptual math, but most parents do want to support and help their child succeed. So if you take 1 or 2 targeted things that they could do at home that would be manageable and consistent, that will give you more bang for your buck. I know that personally, homework routine felt like a battlefield for years and years in our house. So I would have much preferred the teacher giving me 1 or 2 things that would really make sure that my daughter was succeeding and filling the gaps that she needed, rather than this overwhelm of all the resources and all the things out there that I could do to help her. And finally, make sure that you end the conference on a positive note. Give them a piece of amazing artwork or a picture that captures their child's personality. Make sure that the conference ends with celebration and brings it back to who their child is instead of just test scores and data. Giving them a story about a time that they were a great friend or respectful to the sub will leave the parent walking away with a feeling of celebration and something positive to hold on to. And then that makes the negative things that they're going to work on so much more manageable because they know that you really truly see their child for who they are as a whole person. On that same note, make sure that you are asking questions and giving plenty of time for the parents to talk. You should be learning as much from them as they are learning from you. Ask for their insights, ask for their advice, ask them what works for their child. Because the truth is, they know and love their child and can probably give you some really invaluable information. Here are some final tips and tricks. Limit negative communication via email prior to your conference. Really, emails can be misconstrued and misinterpreted, and the tone is hard to tell. If you're sending emails home that might be construed as negative, then parents will walk into your conference with defenses up. Instead, make sure that you have one or two positive interactions before having difficult conversations and conferences. If you know that you need to talk to parents about a behavior issue or academic struggles, make sure that you, before the parent conference, that you send home a quick note in a Friday folder or a positive email sharing a funny story. Those tiny interactions can lay the groundwork for that parent walking through the door without defenses and ready to be on your team. Also, be sensitive to family situations and dynamics. Most parents are doing the best that they can. Make sure that you're assuming a positive intention, that they want the best for their child just like you do. They might be just in over their head when overwhelmed with life or having struggles you know nothing about. So come at this conference with compassion and empathy and really ready to do everything that you can to understand this parent and this family dynamic as best you can. Finally, this is my number one tip. Visualize how you would like to receive the messages if it was your child and you were the parent sitting across the table. Because my students, my own children, were so vastly different, I played out scenarios in my head all the time. I would say, how would I want this to be handled if it was Ty? How would I want my teacher to communicate this with me if it was Kenzie? How would I want my child's teacher to communicate and to help understand that even if my student is academically successful, they still see growth opportunities and see great ways to challenge and foster a love of so much more in the classroom. I urge you to be empathetic and to really put yourself in the situation of the parent when you're sitting across from that table. We would love for you to join the Reading Rev community. Scan the QR code to find out more about our professional development. We also have a community on Facebook where we share all things structured literacy, including parent communication. And we even have a parent communication portal on our VIP site. So head over to readingrev.com and find out all the ways that we can support you as a teacher. Good luck!